Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle, Meta versus Carolina. So of course make sure to click here to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, please do it, and then come back here and we'll watch it together. So this death battle should be interesting, and I hope that it'll be interesting in a good way. This is again Meta versus Carolina, and they are both characters from the same universe, which hasn't happened very often. We've had some battle royales like the Pokemon and Ninja Turtles one, and we've had like Goomba versus Koopa, and I guess you could kind of count like Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black, and I feel like those are really all of the same universe death battles that we've had, but now we have, yes, Meta versus Carolina, and this is, I believe, in promotion of the new Red versus Blue season coming out, because, as you should know, Screw Attack and Rooster Teeth are together under full screen now, so, like, they're partnered, so yeah, they're kind of cross-promoting here, and that's what this is. But yes, those two characters are from Red versus Blue, and they're going to fight to the death, and we'll see which one would be the victor between the two. This death battle does kind of confuse me though, because from what very little I know of Red vs. Blue, I thought that it was like pretty much strictly a comedy thing. And I get that, you know, like even comedy has some action, just like some action has comedy and that kind of stuff. But I believe I watched up to the third season. The last thing I remember is one of them was doing this, there was like this whole time warp, and by the end of the episode there were just a bunch of him. And it was really weird, but that's the last thing I remember, and then I kind of just stopped. I feel like that was near the end of the production as they had it up to that point, because I was watching that back in 7th grade for me, and I'm like a junior in college now, so you know, it's been quite a while. But yeah, from what, like, I don't remember a whole lot. I really don't. Like I said, I remember being comedy. I remember the names, like there's Tucker, right, in Church, and Caboose. And I remember Caboose especially because the person I sat next to in one of my 7th grade classes, the person who actually introduced me to the show, called me that. I like to think endearingly. Who knows for sure? But yeah, so interesting for those number of reasons. The fact that it's like in-universe death battle, or the same universe death battle. Like, these characters probably actually know each other. Again, I haven't seen that far in the show where I think they've been introduced. But I just imagine they probably know each other, or at least know of each other, so that's interesting. And I guess that you can pretty much confirm who the winner actually would be, because Screw Attack is partnered with Rooster Teeth, you know? Unlike in, you know, like Yang versus Tifa, where, you know, same kind of thing. Yang is from Ruby, which is owned by Rooster Teeth, and they were already partnered, so that was kind of like to promote Ruby a little bit. But this time, you know, both characters are actually owned by the same company, and not only that, but in the same franchise, so it's just interesting to me. Hopefully, again, in a good way. Do I want to see a bunch of death battles like this, you know, whether for cross-promoting, or just the fact that they all share the same universe and know each other and everything? No, I don't want it to go, like, strictly in that direction, but I am fine with it now and again. Same with, like, repeating characters in death battles. Like, I'm fine with it now and again, but I don't want it to become, like, such a common occurrence, you know, that we can almost expect it. But yeah, there's not a ton else to say. Like I said, I saw just the beginning of Red vs. Blue, like the first 3, I think, seasons or volumes, whatever they're called. And now they're up to like, what, 17 or something? I don't even know, but they've been going for a long time. They have a big fan base by this point. And it'll be interesting to see how this actually comes together. Like, I'll get to learn a lot more backstory and see, you know, two people from what I thought was strictly a comedy, but I guess not quite so much, fight to the death. So, yeah, with that said, let's get to watching. And play. A summer of animation. Oh, is that it? No
Who would win in a fight?
explanation?
Now, if that's not the most popular question asked around Project Freelancer, I don't know what is. Oh, no, wait. It'd probably be, hey, where do these AI keep coming from? Or, have you noticed that we're looking pretty evil lately?
I don't know
Anyway,
who this
There's
is.
been plenty of action-packed punch-outs and kick-ass karate matches over the years, but we never really saw a matchup between two of our heaviest hitters, Carolina and the Meta.
Yeah,
Let's see if
them.
we can do something about that.
Meta versus Carolina, Dawn of Awesome.
Hey. Yeah? You ever wonder who'd win in a fight between Carolina and the Meta?
No. Only hopeless nerds on the internet care about that kind of crap.
Yeah? Why do you think I'm asking you?
Ha!
Come on, picture it. It'd be totally badass.
Well, yeah, I guess. Carolina would definitely win, though.
Bullshit. You're just picking her because you're scared of girls. Meta's way scarier. He threw a warthog at me.
Oh, I didn't realize scariness was the deciding factor in a fight to
This
the
is such a
fucking death.
departure from the
Genius.
normal death battle, though.
Right.
Like,
What are
already.
you talking about?
Oh, Griff was just asking what would happen if Carolina and Meta fought.
By who?
One another.
Another who?
What?
What? Just ignore it.
Oh, you mean Death Battle.
I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, awesome. Hang on. I know some smart people that can help. Be right back.
Yeah, Caboose.
Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No, but I do know that you're still fucking wrong.
Okay, I'm back.
That was fast.
Yep, I called command and they said 2 of their best scientists fighting people.
You
How
called
much?
what?
Their best. Really.
And that's how you write your name in Buckshot. All right, enough screwing around. We've got a job to do. Oh, fine.
I think you're forgetting
they
that
Spartans now?
best is just a step up from incompetent.
They sent us Donut.
I rest my case.
Introducing Cheese and Broomstick.
Nope. That's wrong.
It's Whiz and Boomstick.
Wow, those are the dumbest names I've ever heard.
Franklin Delano Donut.
And I retract my previous statement.
Yeah, well, you've got the dumbest face I've ever seen.
Oh.
I thought you were supposed to be smart. I'm wearing a helmet.
Oh my God, me too.
Alright, so how you guys do this? You just like draw names out of a hat? Cast some chicken bones around?
It's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Why did you say it like that?
Just watch.
Yeah, okay. Not that that wasn't amusing, but I am glad to get back to the normal formula here.
Before there was Red
Okay.
versus Blue, there was Project Freelancer. The Freelancers were highly trained soldiers with experimental weaponry and a mission so secret, not even they knew what it was.
Okay.
Kinda stupid in hindsight, but these were true soldiers. The biggest and strongest of them all was Agent Maine.
Maine was the muscle of the team, relying
Okay.
on his brute strength, wrestling styles, and his unwavering ferocity to intimidate and crush his foes.
While he
Oh.
likes carrying an M6G Magnum pistol into battle, he really likes a certain alien grenade launcher he stole. The Type 25 grenade launcher, aka the Brute Shot. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. It's got a blade and can fire up to 4 rounds in 3 seconds.
What?
Let's test that, shall we?
Hey, that's mine! Give it back! Ah! Ah!
Did not go well for him.
Well, in conclusion, I love this thing. So the
Fair
guy
enough.
was a badass fighter. Too bad Project Freelancer ended up turning him into a monster.
Long story short, the director of Project Freelancer received a rare artificial intelligence for testing.
The director imagined an army of super soldiers paired with AIs, but he could only get the one.
Being the resourceful scientist he was, the director decided to torture the AI, forcing it to separate its raw emotions into multiple personalities to save itself.
Oh.
These personalities were captured as individual AI fragments and paired with different freelancers.
That is
Trust
interesting.
me, that's science.
Maine was given Sigma, the AI fragment representing ambition and creativity.
Oh.
And apparently being creative means you're fucking evil.
Desperate to gather his fellow AI fragments and reform into a perfect AI, Sigma manipulated and brainwashed Maine, turning him into the murdering psychopath known as the Meta.
Okay.
The Meta went on a rampage, betraying his fellow freelancers and stealing their AIs. He was like the Predator, but bigger, meaner, and with tons of overpowered equipment.
All right.
His domed energy
That's
shield
pretty scary.
creates a nigh-impregnable force field.
It can block bullets, explosions, and even shells from tanks.
Ah.
Allow us to demonstrate. Here's Griff inside an energy shield.
Yeah,
Okay.
so?
And here's a tank operated by Caboose.
And what could go wrong?
Shit.
Fire in the hole in 1.
You missed.
Let's try that again, Blue Buddy.
Yes, sir, Captain Touchpad.
Uh-oh.
Wait, it ran out of... Ah!
Now, if the energy shield had been there, Griff would have been fine.
Wow. Science is fun.
I've said it for years!
As if that weren't enough, the Meta's active camouflage turns him practically invisible. His strength boost enhancement grants him, well, super
Strength, right?
And most impressively, his temporal distortion device can slow
Oh.
time to a crawl.
Wow.
He
Okay.
can turn invisible and
That's always
stop
handy.
time? This guy sounds unstoppable.
Unfortunately, running so much equipment alongside so many AI fragments consumes a lot of power. But that hasn't stopped him from killing several freelancers and stealing 7 other AIs.
Not
Oh,
to mention, the dude can take a hit and keep on going, even when that hit is taking 9 shots point blank to the neck.
wow.
Man, and
That's
I
a
thought
lot.
my voice made my throat hurt. No wonder he never talks.
The only thing that could stop him was when a couple of idiots stabbed him in the chest, tied him to a car, and threw that car off a cliff into the freezing ocean.
Oh,
But let's be fair, Wiz. That's a pretty fucking hardcore way to go.
that is. But yeah, that seems a lot more
wait a
serious than the
minute.
red versus
Where'd
blue.
you
I
get
was,
all this footage?
like,
Have you been
I grew
spying
up
on
with,
us?
Don't worry about it.
Leading
grew
the
up
troops
with
of
3
Project
seasons, whatever.
Freelancer, Agent Carolina was supposedly the best of the best. She commanded the team through many successful missions, mastered several martial arts, and her top spot on the leaderboard seemed
Oh wait, this is church?
Until a mysterious stranger showed up out of the blue
I didn't remember
and
that being
ruined
church.
everything. But we'll get to that later. Carolina carries a wider variety of weapons than most freelancers. Over the course of her career, she's favored the standard Magnum pistol, dual plasma rifles, a grappling hook which can operate in outer space, a humbler stun device which is basically a shock baton, and a long-range BR-55 battle rifle. It's not as flashy as a shotgun, but it's got an impressive range of over 3,000 feet.
Ow! Why
Just
me?
not having a good day.
It just feels right.
Like many other freelancers, Carolina also possesses an AI companion. Several, actually, but for this matchup, we'll be focusing on the time she spent with Epsilon, the memory of the original Alpha AI the director fragmented. It's also
Right.
known as Church. Like the other AI fragments, Epsilon
Okay.
experiences time 205
Church.
times slower than a human being,
Oh.
and therefore drastically speeds up Carolina's thoughts and reaction time.
Too bad he's kind of an asshole. And by kind of, I mean that's basically his thing.
Guys, I'm an asshole.
In her post-freelancer career, Carolina made it her mission to track down as much experimental armor equipment as possible. And let me tell you, she did a pretty damn good job. Like Maine, she managed to acquire the domed energy shield, but also picked up adaptive camouflage, a speed boost, and a healing unit.
Unfortunately, just one AI fragment isn't enough to run all of this equipment at once. In battle, if Carolina's not careful, she can accidentally push Epsilon too far and essentially short-circuit him.
Ah,
Yeah,
that
for
would
a
not be
leader,
good.
She's kind of hot-headed and super competitive. Like when Agent Texas joined the freelancer crew and started showing her up, Carolina started making a lot of stupid mistakes.
There's a lot going on here. Turns out the director was Carolina's father all along, and Tex was actually the AI fragment memory of his deceased wife. Meaning Carolina's greatest rival for her father's approval was actually her own mother.
Wait, what? You're making that up.
You guys didn't know that? Where have you been? Pay attention.
Yeah, seriously, guys, it's like super obvious.
Huh. Suddenly everything makes a lot more sense.
Huh.
Dude, remember when all we used to do was stand around and talk? Yeah,
That is what I remember, basically.
good times.
That's basically all I remember.
Still love this thing.
Regardless, Carolina is one tough woman.
'Cause I remember
She's
just being
defeated
funny.
several other freelancers, saved an entire planet from civil war, and once blocked the shockwave of a nuclear explosion.
She and Epsilon were even skilled enough to track down dear old Dad after he went into hiding, just to help him kill himself. Jeez, that got dark real fast.
Yeah.
I'm your true warrior.
Okay.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate.
I don't know if they're
once
gonna
and
do
for
something in the
all.
middle if I should pause.
It's time for a death battle!
And
Yeah.
pause. All right, let's talk about this death or not this death battle, but who I think is gonna win real quick. This is kind of difficult. Basically, like I talked about last time, I don't like saying who I think is going to win right away because I feel like I biased myself, but I already feel like I've biased myself just over the course of watching it, where I feel like the meta is going to win, and so now it's like, why do I think he's going to win? Well, part of it is just like he was already the kind of super experimental soldier, granted she was too, but then given, you know, the creativity and ambition, and then over the course of like tracking down a lot more of the AI that can actually work together and help make all of his equipment function and all of that, just overall, I think it seemed to me like he had the upper hand, where he could survive a lot. He had a lot of good gear and everything, and he was resourceful. You know, like he could do the temporal distortion kind of thing, and I feel like that could be a big counter to one of Carolina's, what I thought was one of her greatest things, where because of church, and I assume because of the whole time distortion thing, part of the last episode that I saw, but maybe not. Maybe it was just because maybe that was church, because I thought it was the blue guy, you know. Maybe that's where she got that from his AI, but I don't know. But she, you know, like time functions more slowly for her, so she can react more quickly and think more quickly and all of that stuff. But he, you know, Meta rather, you know, has the temporal distortion, so I feel like that could be a good counter for that. She has a lot of good equipment, which seemed to be a good counter to like all of his equipment, but then they said that if she tried to use too much of it, then it could like short circuit church, and then, you know, all things would go bad. And then it talked about her being hot-headed when, you know, her mother showed up and she was competition. And if it's based upon competition and then her, you know, having a, like, you know, in the past she's made mistakes due to that, then, you know, like overconfidence and everything, then it seems plausible that she could also go, you know, get hot-headed and make mistakes when fighting the meta. Now, the meta might have gone down in kind of a stupid way. I mean, I thought it was a cool way, but you'd think that he'd be able to get out of that, you know, being stabbed in the chest and then, like, dragged off into the ocean. I feel like, you know, maybe he'd be able to yank it out. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, or what could have happened. But we know that he did survive pretty impressive things, and I think one of the most impressive things for Carolina was the fact that she helped, like, ward off a nuclear blast, but it looked in the video that they showed like she was using a projected barrier, which I don't think is so much on her, like what she was able to do, so much as it was like the barrier, as long as it had time, it was able to block that. So I don't know if that's so much a feat of hers, as she was just able to use it at the right time and kind of outlast the nuclear blast. And in that case, you know, we know that Meta has projected barriers too. So they both have some like cloaking capabilities, it seems, like the camo. They both have the protective dome. I think it's going to come down a lot to, yeah, their equipment and just their brute strength. Seems like they have a lot of counters equipment-wise, except that Meta, you know, with the multiple AI, is less likely to, you know, short circuit. So I feel like he has the upper hand there. As far as like hand-to-hand combat goes, you know, it seems like the Meta had the upper hand there, you know, like tossing a warthog, knocking an armored soldier on one hit kind of stuff. I don't know. Just overall, I feel like the Meta had more. I'm going to be surprised if Carolina ends up winning this one, but I'm not going, you know, we'll just have to see if she does, what the justification for it is. So, yeah, the Meta is going to win this one, and play. We will see. We will see. Look at her hitting all those green things, guys. Yay! That's like Target Smash in Super Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah, just 0.03 milliseconds too slow. Looks like I'm picking the movie tonight.
Ugh. Can it not be another garbage action movie?
Oh, come on, they're hilarious. Everyone talks in one-liners and the plot's non-existent. It's like the characters are just there to beat the shit out of each other. Uh-oh.
What is it?
I think we're about to have company.
Name?
Not exactly.
He's so crazy. Let's see what happens then.
Okay, if we win, you can totally pick the movie. Not working!
I can see that.
His commentary's fun. You think at that point you realize a close range option might be better, Meta. I mean, usually you don't run up to people with a rocket launcher. Usually you fire at them from afar.
You sure you can't set that thing to kill?
He's strutting over there. Oh yeah, she has super speed. I forgot about that. I was like, time displacement shouldn't have that kind of effect, but that's not what it was. I do feel like that was popped a little early.
Church, where is
Guess we'll see.
I'm on it. Scanning. Your left.
Well, that's gone. Oh, we saw her hitting the green things. Ow. Ow. Ow again. That's gotta do something to your HUD, you know?
Which ones?
All of them.
That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, that's the last resort right there. Oh, snap. Look at that temporal displacement there. Stuff.
Shit. Damn it. Okay. Focusing on the healing unit. I got you. Carolina, can you hear me?
Well, the music just started in her favor. I don't know.
You got him.
He just stands back up.
Okay, seriously, what the fuck?
Ow.
Hey, wait. Hold up. Hey, so I know you're about to pummel her ginger face in and all, but you also only talk in grunts, so I'm just gonna say this one line for you, okay? Just this one time. Oh! Son of a bitch!
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to justify this one for me.
Church,
Yeah?
no action movies.
I feel like that at the end there was weird.
Holy shit! I know! He did not even have a head under his helmet! He was a ghost the whole time!
Whoa!
I told you!
Like Bruce Willis. Bullshit! Meta's stronger! He should have won!
Not true, Griff. As the Freelancer leaderboard proves, strength isn't everything. Carolina's mastery of martial arts let her hold her own, and her use of equipment allowed her to match and even counter the metas. He may have gained an upper hand with his temporal distortion, but Carolina's healing unit quickly repaired damage done during the attack.
Even though the meta had all that powerful equipment, it drained his suit's energy way too fast. Carolina tried to use all of her equipment at once and failed. Luckily, she had Epsilon to change tactics and focus on recovery.
Which brings us to what is perhaps the most important factor of the fight, the relationship between Freelancer and artificial intelligence. The meta was brainwashed and manipulated by 8 different AI, effectively filling his head with an unintelligible mess of voices and commands. In contrast, Carolina and Epsilon worked together as partners with a mutual trust, both capable of making judgment calls to make up for each other's weaknesses.
Whatever. I still say it should have been the meta.
Says the guy who can't tell the difference between a car and a puma.
I can tell the difference! It was a matter of comparison!
The meta just couldn't get ahead of his competition.
Aha!
The winner is Agent
All right.
Carolina.
Claps for Carolina then.
Hey, what in Sam hell are you boys doing in here? Fraternizing with the Blue Devil and a...
What was that?
Who the hell are these dirtbags?
Whoa, easy there, sir. We're just here from command.
Hey, nice shotgun. I like the cut of your jib.
Well, what do you know? Someone who has an eye for the finer things in life.
Oh.
You better believe it.
You know, you remind me of someone. Almost like the son that I never wanted.
Oh, that's funny. I was about to say you're like the pappy I never had. When I was a kid, he ran out on us to join the army and never came back.
Huh. Well, how about that? Time to move along, I guess. Nothing to see here.
Right?
Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
We had an absolute blast working on the episode. If
Good.
you haven't already, be sure to check out the full series of Red vs. Blue on roosterteeth.com.
You can
If
do
you
that.
enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends.
And follow us on social media so you're up to date on the latest death battle details. Just follow the links in the description.
Thanks for watching.
Is that about it? Or will we have the normal ending too?
Next time on
Next
Death
time on Dipper!
Target acquired.
But
You and me, right now.
Cammy White versus Sonya Blade. Fighters from fighting games. Oh, and then Summer of Animation kind of stuff. Oh, just Rooster Teeth then. Well, at the beginning it was like Summer of Animation or something. Anyway, there was the death battle, so now it's time to talk about it. If you couldn't tell, I was a little bit skeptical about that ending there, and not because I was wrong, because you've seen me be wrong multiple times, and I can take it like a man. The thing is, I just didn't feel like it was right. The way that it ended was really weird to me, and that like it seemed Meta totally had the upper hand where Carolina was about to die, you know? And you could say, I know where you're probably thinking like, oh, Joker versus Sweet Tooth. Yeah, but it was different because that was part of Joker. I didn't think that Carolina and, you know, Church's relationship was like anything special. I mean, you could say that the bond between, you know, them is important, but I was already thinking like, yeah, well, you know, they can cover each other's mistakes and everything, and Meta has all of those AI in his mind. Like, here's the thing, and okay, so I will accept the outcomes of this death battle because they did seem matched in a lot of areas, and I thought that Meta just, you know, had the upper hand because they were matched, and then he had more. I guess that I didn't think about their fighting styles. I didn't realize that she was a master of martial arts and he just had some judo stuff. I don't know. But I'll accept it because of the relationship between Carolina and Church, because apparently that's more important than I thought. But what I was thinking was that, you know, like, yeah, again, they have each other covered, but then Meta has all of these AI. Even if they did brainwash Main, you know, the actual person who used to be Main, so it's really just kind of this walking, talking amalgamation of, you know, AI bits, they all want to form a complete AI together, and so I would think that they would work together, and so you would have not a bond of 2 people, but a bond of like 8 AI, or however many fragments they currently had. That was my thinking, and I don't know that that's entirely wrong, so like, while I'm willing to say, you know, that I accept the outcome of this death battle as it is right now, I feel like it could also be looked at from another perspective possibly, and I don't know, because a lot of times when I do get death battles wrong, you know, or most of the time, by far most of the time, you know, I'll listen to the end, I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't consider that, oh, okay, that's true, you know, that kind of stuff, and then it makes a lot more sense to me. But this one, it was still, the entire time, it was like pushing it, you know, where I'm like, I don't know about this, because it just seemed to me, Meta had the upper hand. And even if you do say the bond is so important, like, why wouldn't the AI have that kind of bond if they all have the same goal? I don't know. To me, then, yeah, the ending of that battle was not satisfying, and that I thought that it was a little bit cheap. Again, Joker vs. Sweet Tooth, I know what you're probably thinking, but it's different. So, I don't know. This death battle, I can say that overall I enjoyed it, and I do tend to enjoy Death Battle regardless because it is a well-made series, you know. I enjoy the analyses that are put into it, I enjoy the animation, the time that everyone takes and everything. However, with this one, because it was a cross-promotion and it included so much of, you know, Red versus Blue, it seemed a little bit odd to me. I feel like people would like this episode a lot more if they were a fan of both Death Battle and Red versus Blue. Or maybe Red versus Blue and were then checking out Death Battle, but I feel like for the people who were just Death Battle fans that it was kind of weird because it really messed with the formula that we've become used to. And I am fine with a departure now and then. Like for this one, you know, I'm fine that the episode went like this because it makes sense to me that in a cross promotion when the companies are actually working so closely together because they're actually joined, you know, beneath full screen, it makes sense that, you know, you would have the animation of, you know, like Rooster Teeth, of, you know, Red vs. Blue specifically, come into play with the Death Battle episode, that you'd have the voice actors pitch it and everything. It makes sense. But it was also weird to me just because, you know, I was expecting and, you know, was kind of just in the mood for a death battle. Were the Red vs. Blue parts funny? Yes, but do I think that I would have preferred just seeing, you know, the normal death battle layout? I think that I would. But that's not to say that everyone else would have preferred it. I'm sure that for a lot of people, the Red vs. Blue segments were people's favorite parts. And I did really enjoy the last part, just with Boomstick and his father. Or maybe not his real, but you know, there was that connection and how he just kind of like slowly backs out of the room. That was funny. I did enjoy that. And it was nice to see, like, hear Caboose again, just because, again, it's been years. The very beginning of junior high for me since I last saw Red vs. Blue. Yeah, to talk a little bit about Red vs. Blue now, because, you know, I haven't watched any more since junior high, since 7th grade for me. Junior high, middle school, whatever you call it, you know. It seems like it really has changed. Like they pointed out in one of the little Red vs. Blue segments during this episode, like, remember when we used to just stand around and talk? Like, that's what I remember! And, not to say that it should go back to that was, like, the best way for it, you know, Red vs. Blue to be as a show. I understand evolution and everything. But that's what I remember it being, and I remember it being really funny. And what it kind of was is when it got to that episode where, again, like, all the time, everything... I feel like the show started to get weirder for me. Like, it started to lose what I had enjoyed about it. And maybe it really did, because it does seem like it went in another direction. And again, that's not to say that it's bad, that it was better the way that it originally was. Not to say that it's better the way it is now either. It's just that, you know, different things appeal to different people. And it really seems like Red vs. Blue has taken a more serious turn, where they actually got a bigger budget, where they got, you know, better, like a bigger team. And they have a lot of people working on it, where they can actually have those big cinematic kind of things, where they really can invest a lot into a story, into a plot line. And that's just not what I remember. Maybe there actually was one even back then, but, you know, I was young and maybe it didn't occur to me, or maybe I've just forgotten, because it really has been, you know, literal years since I've seen it. But definitely interesting to see the strides that they've made. And it makes sense, given that it really is that old, that they have done like 14 more seasons or whatever. I could be wrong on the number, since I last watched it. Yeah. So I guess to wrap this one up, I'll just say again that I did enjoy this one overall. I feel like I personally would have enjoyed the death battle more had it been like just a death battle in its normal formula, but I totally understand why people would enjoy the Red vs. Blue segments. I just feel like it is particularly for the people who are already fans of Red vs. Blue, but I'm sure that a lot of people who have never seen it enjoyed it as well. So hopefully those people will go check out the show on roosterteeth.com, you know, and all that, and really, you know, come to love it. It's nice when, you know, things like this or just other whatevers can introduce cool new shows or games or whatever to new people. I just feel like, you know, spreading that entertainment is a good thing, so I don't blame them at all. I feel like the result of the death battle was kind of weird. I don't want to say forced, because, I mean, I feel like, you know, Wiz and Boomstick, Chad and Ben are genuine in their beliefs, and since they were working so closely with Rooster Teeth, I also imagine that the people who were creating Red vs. Blue had their say in it and said, like, yes, I agree. I think that, you know, Carolina would win this one. It just didn't seem that way to me, where even in the conclusion, you know, the talk after the battle happened, the justifications didn't seem quite right to me, where it still seemed like Meta had the upper hand. The only thing that I will really give their conclusion was that, yeah, the bond between Carolina and Church the AI, sure, maybe that could, you know, push them over to winning. The healing factor too, but I still think that, you know, like, at least within the animation, even with the healing factor in place, with how Meta had Carolina, if he just launched a grenade into her mask, her helmet, she would have been dead. And I know, and I want to point this out for everyone else, yes, the animation is just for entertainment. It's not to say that this is what would happen. And there are many scenarios where you could say, well, this character would beat this character if they did this. And that is absolutely true. My belief, because I'm taking this kind of from like the Pokemon Battle Royale, is that they take a bunch of scenarios and they're like, yes, well, they might win in this case and they might win in this case, but most of the time, this character would be triumphant over this character. I just believe that that is how they run things. So, you know, if they really did that with Meta vs. Carolina, alright, it just seems such a weird thing. Like, it seemed to me like Meta really had this one, and a lot of the stuff that they said, like the reasons they gave for Carolina winning, I felt applied to Meta, perhaps more so, minus the healing factor, I guess. But, yeah. And just kind of in my defense, I suppose, I thought that once she short-circuited, she was kind of done with it, you know? Like, I didn't know that she could short-circuit and then immediately be like, well, I'm just gonna focus on the healing factor. And, like, I didn't know that was possible. I thought, you know, once you went all out, you kind of, like, were, you know, you were committed. Like, you went all out, oh, it didn't work, well, you're suffering the consequences now. But she was just able to pull back, I guess, and just focus on the healing. So, yeah, is this my favorite death battle? No, it's not. Did I enjoy it well enough? Yes, I did. I liked the animation was really nice, and, you know, the battle was cool itself, and I did like the fact that it had a story, and it makes sense that it had a story because, again, it's within the same universe where these people probably, I mean, they did know each other. We heard it at the beginning. Carolina said man, and then the Church was all not quite or whatever. So the story was nice and all that. It's just really the results that I don't agree with, I guess you could say. But, you know, I'm just not gonna fight it. I'm not going to be one of those people, is the thing. As for the next time, surprise, I don't know either of those characters. I assume one of them is from either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, because it seemed like art style, and that's what everyone seems to be. I mean, I guess there's like also Guilty Gear and things like that, but or Blaze Blue. But I assume it's one of those two. I just don't know who those people are. So am I particularly excited for the next death battle? No, I'm not particularly excited. I'm as excited as I normally am because I do enjoy Death Battle as a show, whether or not I know the characters. I just know that I'm going to enjoy, you know, a good animated battle. I know that I'm going to enjoy some good banter between Wiz and Boomstick. I know that I'm going to enjoy the analyses and, you know, getting to learn more about the characters and then pit them together in my mind and to see, you know, what they thought of themselves. So, yes, I will be looking forward to the next one, you know, in about 3 weeks and everything. And, yeah, you guys also have to realize, yes, I cannot get Death Battle reactions out right away. You know, be patient and don't assume after 2 days that I'm just quitting this series. Like, that's stupid. Don't do that. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this Death Battle in the comments, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, whether you're kind of like me, I guess, and are a little not sure about the results. And, yeah, I probably would feel better about it if I knew Red versus Blue and knew exactly how the meta operated, knew exactly how the AI worked, because again, I thought they would all work together, but I guess not. I don't know. But yeah, let me know. Don't start Flame Wars though, if you could. You know, you can, so don't. You know, there's a difference between like completely just like fighting and tearing people apart and just having a discussion, you know, an argument at its like most pure form. So just be nice people is all I'm trying to say. I just want to have like a friendly community, so try not to be a jerk, alright? Cool. But yes, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!